Good morning, everybody, and a huge welcome to Google Digital Garage this morning. Absolutely fantastic to have everybody here, and welcome along to Find Customers with Google Maps. So we're looking forward to a good session this morning. We've got a lot of information to cover and run through with you on this fantastic tool that we're going to be covering in some depth. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Glenn, and I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. I'm an experienced digital skills trainer, and I also have a fairly large background in consultancy, in marketing, in business management, and really helping businesses to identify opportunities to grow. So hopefully I can add a bit of value to this session for you as we run through this really great local SEO tool, the Google Maps and Google Business Profile. So I'd also like to introduce our fantastic moderator who is in the chat. That's Annie. So Annie is also a very skilled and very experienced Google Digital Garage coach as well. So Annie's going to be in the chat, which you're going to see. Good morning to you, Annie, as well. Annie's going to be in the chat. So you're going to see her. It might be to the right-hand side of the screen or underneath, depending on the device that you're actually using to watch this session this morning. So please do come in and say hello. Please do introduce yourself. Let us know why you're here, what you're looking to get out of the session today, and perhaps where you're actually tuning in from as well. It's always great to know. I can't see you, so it's really nice to get a bit of interactivity going, get a bit of a discussion going as we work through the points that we're going to be covering in the module today. Also ask Annie any questions that you have. So Annie's going to be in the chat. Hello, Nadia. Good morning to you, and clap to you too. Thanks so much for coming along this morning. So yeah, Annie's going to answer your questions as well. She'll be in the chat. Now she's going to pass a couple over to me. We do have a couple of pauses for questions as we work through this morning. But again, we've got a lot of information to cover. So Annie's going to cover most of those questions for you. So get stuck in, interact with us, let us know what's going on. Let us know, excuse me there. Please do let us know your experience with Google Business Profile and Google Maps so far. It's all great for us as a community, I think, to learn from each other and to share some of that best practice. So you'll see Annie, she's got a little blue spanner by the side of her name. So yeah, please do just pop in and say hello initially. Now, if you're having any trouble with connectivity with audio or visuals, then please do refresh your browser. It's that age-old adage that if something's not working, especially in tech, then switch it off and put it back on again, and that should be fine. So refresh your page. If you can't see the chat box that I was just talking about, then please do sign into your YouTube account. If you don't have a YouTube account, then maybe consider signing up for a YouTube account, and that will give you access to lots of good back-end functions there. Rather than just having to click off and watch something and lose your place, perhaps you can go and find the history area of YouTube, and you can pick up from any broadcast that you're watching from the place that you left off, which is a really handy function amongst many others, because I love YouTube. So please do that. Now, we are running this training, this Find Customers with Google Maps today, as part of a much broader offering of courses which are available on the Google Digital Garage site. I can see that Annie's already shared the link for the Google Digital Garage site. It's probably where you logged on and signed up for this one today. There's lots and lots of live webinars that you can sign up for on a schedule. And you'll also get some of the details of our face-to-face training, as we are moving around the country quite regularly now and doing face-to-face open live sessions. Fantastic to be back in front of people as well. So have a look at those and sign up for those as and when you can. It'll be really good to see you there. So go onto the site at your own leisure, really, and have a look at the training that's available there. There's also some courses. The fundamentals of digital marketing would help to complement this session very well indeed, giving you a broad understanding of the main concepts of digital marketing. And at the end, when you've completed the assessment, you can get and download a certification for that. So that looks great on your LinkedIn profile. That looks absolutely fantastic on your CV as well. Okay. I think it is time to get going. Let's have a look at what it is that we're going to be covering today in this session. So as you can see from the screen there, we're going to be breaking this down into 3 individual areas. We're going to be looking at getting our listing together and getting ourselves verified. So we've got a live profile up and running to help us with our local SEO, the steps that we're going to need to do that. Then in the second part of the session, one of the key things is to make sure that we've got a really good up-to-date listing. And that's what we're going to be working through. So optimizing our listing with that key information in order to entice and draw our customers through. And then in the last section, number 3, we're going to be looking at engaging customers with Google Business Profile features. Again, all of those areas that maybe you're not that aware of, maybe things that you've missed. It is a constantly developing tool, and that is important in some of the areas we're going to cover today. And I'll alert you to that because some things have changed since even this information we're running through today has been created. So I'll try and keep you as accurately informed of that as we work our way through. Okay, so those are what we're going to be looking at today. So pen and paper at the go. And also, good time to mention, the session will remain live for the next 24 hours on the link that you came in on. So you can revisit this. So if you've got that YouTube account, it'll be in your history and you can just revisit and look over any areas you want to interrogate further. So just bear that in mind as well. All right, also, a fantastic service that we have available for you is our one-to-one mentoring service. Myself and Annie are on this service. It's produced some outstanding results. You can book yourself up if you are working for a small business or a charity in the UK. And this enables you to talk one-to-one to a digital expert in the topic of your choice. So you might see something that comes up today and you might think, I wonder how that can help me in my business to grow. Get yourself one-to-one, sign up, you get an hour's face-to-face with one of our digital experts, as I say, and they can run through that with you on an individual basis. So there's some great value in signing up for that service. So that's g.co/UK mentoring. That's g.co/UK mentoring. And again, you'll find the link for that in the chat as provided by Annie. So thank you very much indeed for that, Annie. So let's get everyone working now. Let's get all this going. So let's think about search. Let's think about local search. Let's think about what we're doing and what we're here for this session today. So I've got a question for you. You're going out for dinner tonight. Nice. Okay. Good forward planning there at 10:30 in the morning. You're going out for dinner tonight. Then you want to find a restaurant using your device, whatever device it is, using whatever browser, search engine you're going to use. You need to find a restaurant that you'd like to go to. Now, our search and our shopping behavior has really changed, obviously, because of the internet and predominantly because of those amazing things called smartphones that we now pretty much run our lives on. We can find information, we can find businesses, we can find reviews, we can find product catalogs, we can find prices, we can find all of that information, all the things that we need to help us to make a decision. So the point of us thinking and running through this exercise is we want to get into the mindset of our customers, because if we can be objective and get into the mindset of our customers, a lot of the things and a lot of the information and a lot of the choices that we make are probably going to be very similar to those of our customers as well. So if you're using perhaps a laptop for the session, take out your phone, search for a restaurant, just give that a go, and then bear in mind perhaps the process that you're using. So here's the question: how did you search for that restaurant? So what device are you on? And then how did you choose the result that was right for you? So what words are you using? What key phrases or keywords are you actually using in order to find that restaurant? So what search engine or platform are you using? What words are you going to be using to search? And then really importantly, how did you choose the result that was right for you? Do you think that you may well end up booking with and that restaurant? What factors help you to make that decision? What makes you choose a certain product or a certain service? Yeah, Annie, exactly. This is making me hungry. Me too. We've already been talking about cheese, and now we're talking about going to a restaurant. So have a think about that for a moment. In terms of me choosing results, Then one of the key factors for me is going to be the location and how far I do actually have to travel to get there. But also, I'm not going to make any purchase or really go anywhere now without looking at the reviews. That's kind of social proof. It's really, really important to me. So the star rating are really, really key. And also, one of the things that I do tend to keep a really close eye on are the pictures, because we like imagery. We like to get an idea of what we're doing, where we're going, and what it is that we're going to be getting. So for me, in terms of me making results and clicking on a particular place, I'm going to use a combination of the reviews, because if it's got bad reviews, I'm possibly not going to use that place. If it's got good pictures, that's going to help me get a feel for the type of food that they produce. What are yours? So please do send through a couple of examples of how you would choose that restaurant for you. I can see that Annie's put in there for her its reviews as well. I look at the 5 and the 1-star ratings. Absolutely a good balance there of the extremes are always good actually on reviews, I think, to help us gauge what's going on with a particular business. So please drop those in. I'm a little bit ahead of you on the stream because this is a live stream on YouTube this morning, and I will pick up on any responses as I see them come in. So let's now have a look at some of the practicalities about getting our listing active on Google Maps. Now, what benefits can we bring to ourselves, to our businesses, if we do choose a Google Maps or a Google Business Profile listing? It really, really does help our customers in so many ways. Now, there are some decent stats. There's a couple of things, when searching for local information, because this is all about being local. This is all about businesses, probably in your locality. 33% of people are looking for business hours. 32%, a bit like me, are looking for a location. And again, a bit like me and a bit like Annie, 27% of us are looking for reviews. So all of this information can be found on a Google Business Profile listing. That helps us to get an idea of the importance of actually having one. So when we're looking at completing our listing and completing all of that information that we need to, we want to make sure that we're listing our business online. We might have a website, we might be on socials, but also using a Google Business Profile is going to be an added string to your bow so that you can drive customers through to your online and your physical store. Now, if you put your listing onto Google Maps specifically and you complete your listing, you put in all of the things that people want to see, then you're very likely to be considered reputable. People will start to build engagement and trust with you. You're more likely to attract physical and online visits because you're driving people through to you and your services because of the listing that you've created. And thus, that's going to lead people to be more likely to lead to a purchase. So completing your listing is really, really important because people want to know what's going on. People want some familiarity. As we'll see as we work through this, there are lots and lots of things that can help you to keep your customers happy as possible. Now, we've got a couple of examples that we're going to run through. These are real life examples, and this is all about, as it says there, keeping your customers in the loop. So these are case studies of businesses that have successfully marketed themselves using Google Maps. So we've got Goey's Chinese supermarket, we've got Uncle John's bakery, and we've got Little Box of Books. So, okay, they put up a listing, and these were listings that went predominantly up, I think, around the lockdown period. So again, when you frame that, you can think about the importance of the fact that during lockdown, we weren't able to go very far. And it was really, really important that we engaged with our local businesses. And I think that is a fantastic framing to have in that, for as awful as all of the things that happened in lockdown were, we did actually help to re-engage with local businesses and remember the fantastic value that local businesses provide. So let's work through each of these examples now. So Goey's Chinese supermarket, you can see the headline in the box there, 100% increase in online visitors. So Goey's Chinese supermarket lists themselves on Google Maps once lockdown started. And this did actually lead to that figure, that 100% increase in online visitors. Now, most of these visitors were based in the locality, and this meant that the owner could market her products online, let her customers know that her supermarket was still open for business, because we weren't sure, were we, where was open, where wouldn't be, because of all of the restrictions that came into place and that initial confusion. So she was able to let her customers understand, I'm still here for you, I can still help. Now, these are genuine case studies. You can go through and look them up and find them. Go East Chinese Supermarket is going to be on the Grow with Google site. There is a link to this. I'll ask Annie if she can find that, if she can just post that through into the session, if she's able to locate that link. Now, the second business we've got is Uncle John's Bakery. So Uncle John's Bakery utilized Google Maps to drive revenue for the business during lockdown. So it's another business that was able to really take some benefit from Google Maps. So Baker Samuel's business was able to inform customers of new opening times, because we had adaptations and business changes that needed to be put into place. Their new practices helped them to make sure that the online shop was optimized and was working. So they put a lot of focus into that, because they knew that probably a lot of orders would now come in that way for a period of time. And that enabled them to sell during lockdown. So a business that perhaps was reliant on people walking through the door was able to adapt and to pivot to the challenge that was presented to them, sell their products online, and thus keep that revenue coming through. So again, there we go. And he's put in the link for Uncle John's Bakery. Thank you so much for you to just have a look at. Again, genuine businesses going through the same challenges that all of us were. Now, Little Box of Books was able to drive traffic and sales, because one of the things, there was this homeschooling thing went on during lockdown, which a lot of people remember. So founder Lindsay Pollard realized that an increase in the number of children being homeschooled meant the need for books would increase dramatically. So she used Google tools to find new customers. Her website visits in a period during lockdown tripled, leading her to sell more books than she'd ever sold before. In fact, Little Box of Books sold the most books they've ever sold in a month. So again, reacting to the changes in the climate and the changes in circumstances meant that the business was able to help people and help children to keep learning during that really difficult period, and to maintain as much of a status quo as was possible. So that's three great case studies, some really interesting examples of making sure that you're keeping yourself up to date, and that you're also aware of the potential of some of the tools that are actually out there. Now, what we want to be able to do to create a Google Maps listing is to create our listing on Google Business Profile. Actually, now and this is something I need to mention and bring up a couple of times, is the app is no longer functioning. It's been sunsetted, which means it's no longer in action. You find all of your Google Business Profile functionality now via search. So by Google search, you go in, you'll be logged in to your ID, you put in your business, you'll find your business. And because the Google search recognizes that it's aligned to your ID, you have all of the functionality there available in the search engine itself. So you complete your profile, you verify your business, and then you're going to populate your listing. So as I've mentioned, you can go to business.google.com, but also just use search and find your business via the search engine. So as I've mentioned, the Google My Business app, as it was once called, is no longer available. So let's get back to looking at the important part of this, our profile. So let's make sure that we've got all of that crucial information. We need our address, our opening hours, our contact details. We need to think about the visual content, those images that we want to produce, and of course our logo for our branding. Branding is really important. You might be using your logo on your website, your socials, your social presence, like if you're on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any of the number of social channels that are available now to help you with business, TikTok, YouTube, the list goes on and on and on. Make sure that your branding is consistent so that people start to get a feel for you across different platforms if you're on different platforms. But of course, we want to help our businesses help our customers to find us and help our businesses to recognize us, and for all of that key information. So we want to claim our business profile, and we do need to verify our business. That's to make sure that the owner, the actual owner of that listing, is the person that makes the changes. You can see how important that would be. So you can do this via Google Maps. You can claim your business, and you are then able to verify your business. Now, there are a few various ways of being able to do this. One of the key ways, one of the ways that a lot of people mention to me, is that they've received a postcard through the post. Again, this is a good time to mention that you don't have to be a supplier of physical goods, like a shop. You can also provide services and use Google Business Profile really, really well, and really, really to the benefit of your business. You have to get to the point where you can verify that you are where you are. And then once you've verified that via perhaps the postcard or any other way, that whatever options are available to you at the time that you do go in and sign up, once you've verified, you're then able to untick a little box on your Google Business Profile, which then takes away the ability for people to see your physical address. So that's really handy too for people who provide services, so that you don't actually get people knocking on your door. If you don't want people knocking on your door because you provide online services, that's absolutely fine. So it does work for both sets of businesses, products and services equally. And again, what I'm going to ask Annie to do is to pop into the chat the overall support page for Google Business Profile, so that you can see how to take all of the steps that we're talking about. Because as I say, some of the dashboards and some of the way that some of this looks has now changed, because the app's changed, because the way that Google Business Profile now runs via search has been amended since the creation of some of this information. So let's get back to the important part now then of populating our Google Maps listing. We want to manage our listing, we want to update our opening hours, and we want to keep our content fresh. Why? Well, we want to manage our listing. We want to be on top of it. It is something we need to update. It's something that we need to build time in for, to make sure, it's reflecting as current information as we possibly can. We want our listing to be up to date and accurate, essentially. Now, making sure that opening hours, you can do this on a day-to-day basis on a drop down, are reflecting the hours that you're open. So even if you're open at different times on a Tuesday than you are to a Wednesday or a Friday, you can adapt those and change those and reflect those in your listing very, very easily. Indeed, doesn't take much time at all. Now, all search engines like us to keep our content fresh. Local SEO, this would fall into the category of. So make sure that you're updating, you're putting up offers, you're doing some behind the scenes, you're thinking about creative content for your customers to keep them interested and enthralled with what it is that you're doing as a business. It helps to build that trust. It helps to build your credibility. Okay, so that does now bring us to the end of the first section. We're going to come into the first pause for questions. I can't see any questions so far. I can see that Annie is doing a fantastic job just posting some of the links in the chat. So we'll move on into section 2. Any questions? We're going to have a couple more pauses as we work through. Let's talk about optimizing our listing. Let's really, really ensure that now that we've got an idea that our customers want all of the information that's pertinent to them to help them to make a buying decision. That's the key thing, like you did with when you were looking up the restaurant and you were choosing which restaurant to go to and the factors that you had. Then we need to make sure that we're optimizing our listing by making our listing stand out. So we've got a few tips here to help us to do that. So again, we go back to that key information, that address, those contact details, all of those things to help the customer to get to you. We spoke about the importance of reviews. Myself, Annie, customer reviews are the things that we look at to help us make a decision. Is this business providing the services in the way that they say that they are? Reviews often help us to make that decision. Now we can use posts and photos. So it's almost a bit like a social media feed in a way, in that you can post about your business, you can upload photos. Interestingly as well, your customers can also upload photos and share them if they've had a really good time. Again, what a great way for you to gain that credibility and that social proof. And you can also use insights. We'll come to insights a bit later on, but Insights are a bit like, I don't know if you have a website and you use Google Analytics, you'll understand what insights actually are. Insights, analytics, pretty much the same thing from two different phrases, where you can understand what's bringing people through to your site, what they're doing once they're there. It helps you to market adequately. It helps you gain an understanding of your audience overall. So we said quite a bit about providing as much information as we possibly can. So these are some good stats to really back that up. So we want to have our opening hours, because look, 96% of us are more likely to visit a business with the opening hours on its listing. This is really true. I mean, I have looked up a couple of businesses on occasion and they've said they're open. Fine. So off I go, off I trot down to the shop and they're closed. So therefore, I'm unlikely to go back to that business, and I haven't done on a couple of examples, because their opening hours were inaccurate. So we need to have opening hours, but we also need to have accurate opening hours. A 42% increase in direction requests for business with photos highlights the imagery importance. We like good photos. We like to see what we're expecting, what's going to come up, what the place looks like. And again, we'll cover some examples of that quite soon. And then if your phone number is visible, 90% of people are more likely to interact with you. That's because people just might want to give you a call. People might just want to understand a bit more information before they do actually come to you. So give them that opportunity by having your phone number available, because again, it's very clickable very quickly, and that's going to help people to find out what they want really quickly. Again, think about your shopping sequence, how you work, and the questions that you need answered. So it's also good, obviously, to have as much information as you can that answers all of your customers' questions on there, on your listing. But for the things that you haven't thought of, for the things that people have in their minds, have a good quick contact option available. And that's what having that phone number visible is going to enable your customers to do: get in touch really quickly. So our core information needs to be up to date. Again, the dashboard does not look like this now, but you will find all of the same categories, all of the same functionality available via the search function. So again, use that support link that Annie put in a bit earlier on, just to run through how things do look now and how things are accessible. So you can update your opening hours. It's all very easy and quick to do, all in nice fields. You can't really go wrong as long as you're focused and you're concentrating as you work through. You also want to add, as it says on the box on the right there, a business description. So that's really key. Again, it's your selling point for your business that you want to succinctly, easily understandably tell your customers what it is that you do and why you do it, how you do it, anything that you think that's going to help to draw them in, again, on that enticing information, compelling information. So make sure that your business hours, your opening times are up to date, as we've mentioned. Provide details of your products, your pricing. You'll update any payment information if you're no longer accepting cash or you've moved on to different payment types that people can use. Let people have all of that information available to them. So add your business description and make it really relevant to why people might want to come to you in the first place and how they might complete a transaction. Now, although this is less relevant now, thank goodness, there was a lot of functionality that was added through to Google Business Profile during COVID and lockdowns. So the ability to really easily adapt opening hours, adding a post to the profile to help us, again, to give people a visual representation and an understanding of what's going on at any particular time. You can use messaging functions. You can edit your business description really easily. So again, make tweaks. And also with descriptions, it's the same as a lot of things. You're not going to get it right first time always. Practice that, put it on paper, adapt it, ask your friends, ask your trusted colleagues, does this convey the information that I really need it to convey? You can utilize Google Trends. That's a fantastic tool. So I'm going to ask Annie if she will share a link to Google Trends for us. Google Trends is also going to help you to find emerging topics, maybe about your products and services. I mean, this is a whole new discussion in itself. Google Trends, fantastic tool. Google Trends, when you type in some terms, will give you the popularity over weeks, months, years, whatever you set it to, in whatever territory, country of the world that you want to set it to as well. That helps you understand the popularity and the usage of those search terms, and also suggests to you on a useful keyword type basis alternative searches that people might have been using within the same realm. Really, really great tool. Use Google Trends, play around with it. It's really, really good. And you'll start to understand, perhaps on a seasonal basis, if you typed in the word chocolate, for example, although that's probably going to be fairly popular, back to food, although it's going to be fairly popular all year round, you'll see that certain times of the year, maybe around Easter time in the UK and maybe around Christmas time, that those figures go through the roof, and Valentine's Day as well. So if you are selling products and services that align to seasonal trends, whatever they may be, then you can start to look at how to market and produce good posts that help people to get into the understanding that you're the place to go to for those items. If you do those posts at the right time in the right place, maybe throwing it through offers as well. People love an offer or two. I'm sure you'll do. So we need to create those engaging posts, and let's add to that a little bit. So we need a good title for our post. There's a thing called a call to action. Do we know what a call to action is? A call to action is one of those few occasions in life where it's actually a fantastic idea to tell people what to do. Generally, we don't like being told what to do, but actually, this is a really useful way to get people to do the thing that you want them to do, and it's probably the thing that they want to do as well. So provide a call to action. That could be buy now, that could be book online, that could be click here, that could be visit us, that could be call today, that could be email us, that could be download our brochure, that could be sign up to a newsletter. Tell people what to do as part of the important actions that you want them to complete. You could be linking off to your main website. There are many, many options and many, many things that you can do with a call to action. So make it, it's a good prompt for people to. People often don't like having to think too much, or if they find the user journey difficult, they might well click off and go elsewhere. So make the user journey through to from that curiosity stage right through to that buying stage as easy for the individual, for the customer, as is possible. It's really, really key. So yeah, add that title. Describe your event in 4 to 5 words so it stands out to customers and so that it's easily understood. Your title, I think this is still current, has 58 characters at your disposal. So again, a nice, brief, succinct, relevant title. We've covered that call to action. Then we're going to use photos and videos. Now, photos and videos add some real pizzazz to your listing. People love the visual way to learn. You can capture a lot of information in a good picture or a short video as well. People love the video form. You're watching kind of a video representation right now. It's a great way to learn. It's a great way to pick up a lot of information very, very quickly. And also, if you're a business and you want to give a bit of your personality to your customers, then what better way to do that than a short video? You might want to introduce yourself. You might want to introduce your business, the things that you do. It gives things a real personal and human touch. So then write a clear description. So provide as much information as you possibly can. You've got up to 1,500 characters for your post description, but try and use maybe around 300. Again, factor in people's attention spans, because that's a really important thing. We want relevant, useful information as quickly as we possibly can get it. So rather than reading through a huge amount of information, maybe it's important that you are writing very, very succinctly to the point with all of the key information near the top. We do actually have a fantastic module called Writing for Social Media, which you can book up for, like you've booked up for this one today, which is going to help you to understand the importance of writing and where to position the key information for any post that you're producing, so that you at least keep your customers' attention span and so that they find the information that they're looking for really, really quickly. So yeah, why not sign up for one of those? Come along and learn a little bit more about how to write well for your audience. And then we want to make sure that our posts are accurate. It doesn't matter. If spelling or grammar isn't your thing, that's okay, because there are tools online that can help you to produce professional looking copy or text. So things like Grammarly, give Grammarly a go. Grammarly is a fantastic tool because you can copy and paste or enter any body of text that you want, and it will look at that. It will check it for spelling mistakes. It will also grammatically check it and make suggestions to you. Maybe we include this word, maybe we take away a couple of words here, and it will help make your post look as professional as possible. So as I say, if spelling and if grammar isn't really your strong point, that doesn't mean to say that you can't produce fantastic posts, because you can if you use tools like those available. Now, that's going to give you a solid foundation to grow. It's going to also help you with credibility. There are quite a few. I'm one of them. Grammar nerds out there who really like apostrophes in the right places, that sort of stuff. Again, we've all got our own level, I think, of fussiness and fickleness. So on that basis, just think about the idiosyncrasies, the individuality of your customers and of their personalities, and ensure that you're trying to accommodate as many people as possible with those things. Because I must say, if I see on a high street a shop that has an apostrophe in the wrong place, I'm unlikely to go in, because I still see that as being a visual representation of that business. That's a personal thing, that's not a set thing, but if it happens with me, then it potentially might happen with other people too. And that also now leads us nicely onto credibility and that topic we've been discussing on and off, which are reviews. So great question at the top. And again, put this into chat for me. Let me know from your understanding, why are reviews so important? Let's have a look at the mock-ups that you can see on the screen there. Why are reviews so important? I mean, if you look at those, so you can see the example on the left on the smartphone there, that they've not got a massive amount of reviews. They've got, I think it's 15 or 16 with an average of 4.9. So they've got an average of 4.9. That's pretty good, actually. 4.9 out of 5 is I'd consider that business based on those reviews, because they've got good general reviews. They've got mostly 5s and then a 4. Okay, excellent. Then we've got the next business below, a 4.5 over 407 reviews. So they've gained 407 reviews. So they must have a pretty good review process in place to get people to give them reviews pretty quickly. That's important to think about. But they're also extremely positive, with it mostly being 5s and 4s, with a couple of others. But nonetheless, again, that is, on the balance of the numbers, a business I would certainly consider. The thing with reviews, you get personal insights. It's all very well any type of business saying we're really good at this, but when other people say that business is really good at that, that's when things start to change, and that's when that credibility and that social trust really, really does start to build. So that's why reviews are so important. It's other people saying that you've done a good job, that they've had a good time, and that they're essentially recommending that this business is going to be used by other people. Brilliant. Okay, so encouraging customers to leave reviews. So 2 out of 3 people say positive reviews were an important factor in deciding which businesses to buy from. I think we've showcased that and proved that pretty much conclusively amongst ourselves today. So how do we get customers to leave reviews? One of the most popular new ways, and it's quite a cool way to do it too, is with QR codes. If you don't know what QR codes, please do look them up. You may well have used one. They're those little square boxes that look indecipherable, with lots and lots of areas, and they're hard to describe. Just look up QR codes. I'm not going to be able to adequately describe a QR code to you, I don't think. But what you do is you point your phone camera at them, and then your phone camera picks them up, and then a little link comes up on your phone screen. And this works on most Apple and Android devices. And then you can click on that link that's come from that QR code and go to that website. So maybe you could link that to your review page. Get people at point of sale. Essentially, I think the best tip I can give you here is that you need to get people to leave reviews as quickly as possible, because people get distracted, people move on to other things, whether they've had a good time or not. If things kind of come up and they get a phone call or someone rings the doorbell, whatever happens, people get distracted and then they might forget or lose the impetus to leave that review. So bear that in mind. Get your customers to leave as many reviews as quickly as possible. And also, again, maybe you use other ways and other methods. Talking to your customers, talking to them at the point of sale. Maybe you send them an email. Maybe you send them a link afterwards if they've signed up to your newsletter to leave a review. How do you do it? I would love you to, again, pop in any ways that you encourage your customers to leave reviews. Perhaps put that into the chat for me. That would be fantastic. And again, we can all learn from each other about how you do that. So yeah, pop that into the chat. What do you do to encourage customer reviews? We can see how important they actually are. So we can collect customer details and send feedback surveys via email, as we've mentioned. We can share the feedback URL visibly via posters and brochures in the shop, or again, transfer it into a QR code. And we can also display feedback from customers to show that this is something that's valued by the business. So there's a few ideas. Let us have yours as well. So let's get back to the listings now. Let's get back to the postings, and let's look at utilizing photos and videos to stand out. As we've mentioned, two extremely popular forms, two extremely popular ways for people to digest information. It's not just all about the words. So we want to focus on the multimedia, I guess, the multimedia impact that we can have. So 90% of people, great picture on screen, by the way, when we're talking about images, say that they're more likely to visit a business with photos on the results page. So that's becoming utterly, utterly key now. We want to see what it is that we're getting ourselves into. So business listings with photos get 40% more requests for directions. 39% of customers say they will stop engaging with the site if images don't appear. And then, as we've got there, 90% of people say they're more likely to visit a business with photos. So we can see those are compelling numbers, things that really should, I believe, encourage you to make those first impressions really, really strong by using photos. So how do we produce a good photo? We need to have good lighting. Make sure that your image is well lit. That's important. The subject matter needs to be clearly visible. Again, hopefully avoiding as many shadows or as much darkness as you can. Make sure that the light's coming from behind the camera. Sunlight is a great source of natural light, but being in the UK, that's not always possible for us to attain, quite a lot actually, really. And so therefore we use other things like lights. Now I've got an LED light. You can get them reasonably cheaply. Again, look at what you need, how much light you need to produce, and you can find probably a fairly economical one. Think about the focus, so don't blur the shot. Good photos, nice, clear, crisp photos are reasonably important, and you can achieve that on smartphones as well as your bigger DSLR cameras, for example. So your smartphone probably does have a pretty good camera on it that's going to help you to take some really good photos. We also want to edit as well. Now there are lots and lots of pieces of software which are going to be free or free to a point on your smartphones, and you can edit photos on your smartphones. You can also do them on your desktop. So my best advice here, rather than actually recommend any products, because again, we all like different things for different reasons, is to download a few and play with them and look at the functionality and see whether they're useful for you. And if you don't like them, then you can offload them off of your device and try another one. I've done that, and some apps have lots and lots of functionality and they're not that intuitive and they can be quite difficult to use, whereas some are just a dream, aren't they? So try and find the ones that you think, this is a dream to use. It will make the process a lot easier for you, a lot quicker for you, and you'll enjoy doing it. Remember framing, and this is important, about everything you're going to see in your picture frame. So you can see behind me a clear wall, you can see a plant over there as well, and you can see the logo too. So people will notice everything in a photo. So therefore make sure that they only notice the things that you want them to notice by only having the things that you want in that picture. So just to emphasize this a little bit more, let's have a look. So some great photos on the top line there, clear imagery, looking at the premises. We can look at the exterior. It's really, really nice to look at. We can see from the interior photo there as well, a really nice, well-lit representation of a clean establishment that looks good. They sell lots of things, looks really, really friendly and inviting. And then the photos at work, the one where we've got the person at the till, and she is happy, she's enjoying her work, she's having a good time. And also that's an important thing to do as well. If you're showcasing your business, keep it positive and show people having a good positive experience. You can see in contrast that the exterior photo below that in the line with the red X on, I mean, that doesn't tell us much at all. I'm not really sure what's going on there in any sense. That's not going to help me to grow a better understanding of that business. The interior picture in the middle, I mean, is just nothing. That may as well not even be there whatsoever. In fact, it probably does more harm by being there than not being there in the first place. And then the photos at work, you can see that again, it's close, isn't it? You can see a couple of people engaging in a transaction, but we've got no faces. It'd be great to see their face. It'd be great to see them engaging with each other, looking at each other, smiling, and seeing a bigger representation of what's actually going on there. It asks too many questions. So with exterior photos, let's just emphasize this. We've got the business name, that's going to be useful. The shop front is in frame, so if we're walking down the road, we're going to recognize that business. And you can locate the business there, as I say. If you're walking down the road or you're driven past it in a car or you need to park, then you can start to know exactly what it is you're looking for because you've looked it up before you've made your journey down. Makes that experience quicker. Again, a great interior photo of a business here. A great image, really nice image, really, really bright and well lit image, fantastic. You get a good idea of what goes on in that business, good idea of how that's working. And you can see the products, so we know what we're going to get and perhaps what some of our choice actually is. And you can infer what kind of business it is. It gives you that full picture. It answers a lot of questions. You know, within digital marketing, one of the key things is always to try and be the solution to your customer's challenge. So you're answering a lot of questions by using a great photo there. You are showing them what you're about, why you're about, and you're doing it well. Another great photo at work example here, nice business example there. For barbers, you can see the quality of service. That looks like a great establishment. They got a speaker up, so there's a bit of ambiance in there. It looks really, really clean, which is what you want in that type of establishment. And it shows an engaged barber doing his work. You get a flavour of the atmosphere and the decor. Again, nice use of the mirror there as well to really broaden and enlarge that picture in quite a few ways. Now, let's have our insights for our business listing. We mentioned those analytics, Google Analytics, if you've got a website, essential, and also looking at insights. Now, this in the new version, when you're finding all of your dashboard on Google search, you're going to find under performance. So look for the performance tab and click on that. Now, what you'll learn from insights is what's going on. So you can see from the examples on the screen, the people that have taken directions on requests or direction requests to get to your premises, because this would be for a walk-in business, the amount of phone calls that you've taken over a period of time, where you're being found. Is it a listing on search? Is it a listing on maps? So that we can start to make comparisons about where people are looking and how they're coming in. Are they coming in directly by typing your name into the browser? How are you being found? It's crucial information. So there's a quick listing, quick overview of what you'll learn from insights. How customers found your listing in the first place. That's key. What they did, what they pressed, what they interacted with on your listing once they found you. Excellent. Where they're coming from, if they're doing those direction requests, what time of day people are engaging with you most. That could be good because you could put up posts leading up to that really key time of day that may bring more people in. Again, if you can put in the odd offer here and there, or in the loyalty programs, there are so many things that you can do to entice customers to come back again and again and again. You can find out when best to do that. And also how your engagement compares to similar listings, so you can get some benchmarking. So that's good. Now, as an example of that, you have to make decisions from insights. They have to be able to fuel future kind of campaigns and changes that you make. So from here, it says, what would you do if these were your insights? Now, image A on the screen now shows a good amount of image views for a small business. Insights reports the listing has more photo views than competitors, so the imagery is working. So to stay ahead of the competition, your decision process, perhaps make sure that it's posting photos regularly as a business to help them to stay ahead. Now, the listing overview here doesn't mention that there's any customer photos or reviews. So maybe you as a business then want to encourage that business to leave reviews with photos, as that will help to build the reputation. So always make some decisions from your insights. Again, a similar kind of deductive overview for this. If these were your insights, you want you're getting a lot of views from Google searches and far fewer from Google Maps. So this would suggest that the business might not have optimized its Google Maps listing because the traffic coming from the Google Maps listing is low. So the business should aim for a Maps listing and enhance that, optimize it, put in all the key information, and that will then help to grow the amount of people that are clicking through from Google Maps. So that will help you to understand your your audience's behavior. That's important. Adapt to their needs. What is it they want? Remember, you're the solution to your audience's challenges, rather. And then that helps you to reach new customers. And then hopefully what people will do is, again, leave you reviews saying they just gave me everything I needed at the time I needed it, and I had a seamless experience. Now we're coming through to the second pause for questions. We've got about 10 minutes to go, and we've got one more section to run through. I can see that Annie's been doing a fantastic job in the chat. So thank you again, Annie, for that. I can't see any questions that have come in as of yet, but again, we've got one more pause for questions. Also like to mention for us, for feedback, those feedback things that we've been talking about all the way through reviews, we do have a feedback form. That's goo.gle/digital garage feedback. Let us know what you think of the session. Let us know what you think we could do to improve and how we can help you. And that helps us to keep our offerings to you as up to date and as relevant as they possibly can be. And again, thank you, Annie. She's just shared the link in the chat. So let's have a look at some of the features that we do have available on Google Business Profile. Now, there are lots and lots of them. Again, these are changing, these are evolving, these are developing, these are improving all of the time. So keep yourself as current as you can. Now, what we want to be able to do is optimize our listing, but it's not just all about that. Then there's even more things that you can actually do. The functionality that you can see on the screen, we can look and ensure that we're in the right category to help that benchmarking process for us. We can include bookings. So if you're a business that takes bookings, you can use your bookings here. A street view functionality as well, so people can really get a great idea of what it is they're expecting. That really helps with accessibility options. You can get a free website that can be built from your Google business profile information overall. Again, that's why some good images could be really, really useful and helpful to you. And you can also include gift cards and donations. So let's have a look at these in a bit more detail. So choose your business category and be specific as possible. So it says there, select that primary category, make that as accurate to your business as you possibly can. So, one of the examples I would think of there is, if you are a nail salon, find a nail salon, don't just put salon in. So make sure that your category is closely aligned to the category of your business as is possible. Don't add too many different categories, because this will dilute your listing a little bit. And again, remembering that you want to keep it relevant, you want to be found, and it will connect you with customers that are looking for those businesses that are similar to yours. And that's the key. That's why we're here. That's why we want to be building these types of listings. So bookings. Now, if you do have a business that incorporates bookings, salons, hairdressers, doctors, health, whatever it might be, then you can link up, sign up, and get your bookings through. So you can add a link to your Google Business Profile listing to enable customers to book appointments with you. there are third-party booking services that will appear on business profiles, and you can edit those. You might already have one, and you can actually link that. So when you're looking at your Google Business Profile, again, via the search function, and you click on bookings, you can choose a scheduling provider. There are lots and lots of those available, and sign up. So again, have a look at those, look at the options, look at the functionality, choose the one that's absolutely right for you. You then link your account through to your Google Business Profile, and then you can receive bookings and track your bookings through Google. So you can, there's a tool called Reserve with Google via the booking tab, and this shows the booking history of your business as well. So you can keep a track on all of those numbers and analytics. Essentially, that again, that's a great part of the analytics function, to track what's going on and keep an eye on everything that's come through. Now, we mentioned about Street View as well. So why would we want to add Street View to our listing? There's a few things that could be seen as really, really great benefits to adding a Street View functionality to your website, rather, to your listing, because it gives people even more insights that you haven't been able to list in your profile. You can get virtual tours. You can show the products you sell. People will start to see perhaps the layout of your venue. So you can, again, use that humanization element of your brand, so you can build trust. Now, it enables your customers to make decisions as well, because most of us are doing a bit of research before we do visit anywhere at the moment. So that helps with the parking. Can you park outside? Do you have to find a local car park nearby? One of the nice things about being on maps as well is that when people, if they're walking, for example, to your business, they're not going to get distracted by other businesses, because they're going to see a map and a route that takes them right through to your front door. If that's, again, if you're not a service, then you may well want people walking in off the street. So be found, be findable as quickly as and as easily as you possibly can. Now, I mentioned about the website. This is important. If you don't have a website, then having a website can be really, really important. 70% of customers are saying that they're more likely to buy from a business that has a website than one that doesn't. So that's a pretty important stat to keep in mind. So you can create one. Basically, it's built from all of the information you put into your Google Business Profile. Now, it's a basic website. It is important to emphasize that, but it gives you a starting point. It gives you a starting point, again, to be found in another way. So, if not having a website can lose you revenue, at least having a nice basic website is going to perhaps keep and retain some customers that might have left or gone elsewhere otherwise. So as we're saying there, consumers are more likely to buy from a business that has a website than one that doesn't. And on the screen is just, again, a quick example of how that's put together. Again, this is from the old dashboard, but essentially it's very, very quickly done. You put it together very easily. It's very buildable, very templated again through. You can choose your theme, you can drag your photos in, you can then pick your descriptions, pick the text that you want, and put that together pretty quickly. So you have a layout, a design, you enter in your text, and then you can launch that, and you can then also link that to a domain if you've already bought one, or have a Google provided domain, which is your business name .business.site. So you might want to perhaps link it to one of the websites that you've built or that you've bought from a domain provider that maybe ends in .co.uk or .com. Again, that's entirely up to you. So you can see they've got a call to action in there as well. So that's self-learn extra singing lessons, get quote. Getting people to the point, getting people to do the thing that you want them to do on your website, that call to action there. Lovely. Okay, so we're just coming to the end of the session now. We've got a couple of minutes to go. I can't see that any questions have actually come in. So hopefully this has been an insightful 60 minutes to help really show the benefit of a Google Business Profile, what it can do for your business. Again, it's a no-cost tool. You sign up, you get yourself online, and you can be found very, very easily within and by local customers, those people on foot, those people that perhaps aren't traveling too far, those people that are looking for services exactly like yours. So your next steps, I would say, is to go onto the Google Digital Garage site, g.co/digital garage, and sign up for some more sessions. Look at digital marketing strategies. They will help you to understand more of the concepts that we've been talking about today and how they can actually help you to build a cohesive strategy for your customers. So digital marketing strategy, social media strategy, all of the things are going to help you to understand providing the right information at the right time for your customers. Now, I mentioned before that you might also have found something useful here that you want to discuss on a more one-to-one basis. So why not use our one-to-one service? If you work for a small business or a charity that's based in the UK, you can sign up at g.co/UK mentoring. Get an hour with a digital expert like me and Annie. We might be there. You might find us if you're lucky enough. And you can talk through your challenges and we can help you devise a plan to move you forward and help you move towards achieving that goal. So that's g.co/UK mentoring. Fantastic service. If you have an opportunity, sign up. And again, take away some of the absolute nuggets of wisdom that will come your way. And it's always good just to talk these things through, isn't it? Just bounce ideas. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Oh, no, I'm not sure if that will work quite so well. There's great benefit in that. All right, so might see you online again. Now, that leaves me really just to say thank you very much indeed. It's been a fantastic hour. I hope you agree. Really, really enjoyed it. Don't forget that feedback for us. That's goo.gle/digital garage feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Love to understand your thoughts and your feelings on the session. And that leaves me to say thank you very much indeed. See you very soon. Big thanks to Annie in the chat for doing a fantastic job. And we'll see you all again soon on another Google Digital Garage session. Bye-bye.